Hello there. Today on the Glory Hunters, I just want to talk about a little bit of news that has come up with Braintree Town. My team, obviously. We've decided to move on from manager Angelo Harrop. After two losses to the two bottom teams, Maidstone United, not even bottom teams, they were in the bottom three. Maidstone United and Boston United over the past two games, we've lost, and Angelo Harrop, the manager, is gone. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, I suppose. So we'll take a look at what the club had to say on Twitter, their statement. So obviously the club can confirm that he's gone. The owner said, "We've been talking with Angelo since the start of the season, and the board have decided it is time to change to safeguard the club's future. We would like to thank Angelo for his efforts over the past 2.5 years at the club. We have achieved much together on and off the field and wish him all the very best in the future." We then spoke with both Justin Mosley and senior players after the game, who have all agreed to the club going forward. All agreed to help the club going forward, All of us are now focused on turning our fortunes around with training this week and our game against Gateshead on Saturday. What a load of crap. I just can't begin to comprehend this decision, to be quite honest. I think it's an absolute joke to be moving on from Angelo Harrop. When you look at our recent form, alright, yeah, you got those two losses there against two low teams. Like I say, Boston down there, you got Maidenhead just behind us now, level on points, but behind a goal difference. So, as things stand, right, Braintree are not currently in a relegation spot. Braintree were favourites to get relegated this year. We were favourites. I had us going down. You look at any prediction for the National League this season, Twitter, in papers, everywhere would have had Braintree Town on that bottom four this season. We should be relegated, realistically. Our budget is nowhere near the rest of the league. We're just not a National League side. And Angelo Harrop, so far, is still keeping us out of that relegation zone. We're still above it. Sure, it's goal difference, but we're not in the bottom four, despite the fact we should be one of these bottom two teams based on how everyone, including myself, expected us to be this season. But not under Angelo Harrop. You look at our recent form, 3 wins in our last 5. So why are we does 3 wins out of the last 5 games sound like a sackable offence for a manager of a relegation team? No, not if you ask me. That's not relegation form. That's not sackable form for a manager fighting relegation. Now, sure, if he was bottom of the league, maybe, but out of the relegation zone. We're not in the relegation zone. We've won 3 of our last 5 games, and they've sacked him. What a joke! What an absolute joke that is. If he managed to finish in 20th this season, that is a fantastic season, because we had no right to be in this league. We had no right to be in this league, but Angelo Harrop made that happen. We were, when we appointed Angelo Harrop, we were looking to stay, like, the objective of Angelo Harrop was to stabilise the club, right? We were fighting relegation year on year, and Angelo Harrop comes, and the idea was he would come in, stabilise the team, stop us having to fight relegation and sort of build. 2 seasons in, he got us promoted. We're way ahead of schedule. We shouldn't be in this league, but Angelo Harrop managed it. Not only did he manage it, but he's currently doing a pretty decent job at somehow trying to keep us into this league, despite the fact we should never be there in the first place. And they sacked him. They sacked him. In our last 10 games, we've won 4. We won 4 of our last 10 games in the league, right? 4 of our last 10. You look at the Premier League, right? 12 games played, 6 teams haven't even won 4 games yet in 12 in the Premier League. And as relegation favourites, we've sacked our manager who has won 4 of the last 10. 4 of the last 10. more wins than 6 of these Premier League teams have in more games in our last 10 matches, and they sacked Angelo Harrop. What an absolute joke that is. Absolute joke. Well, when you look at Harrop before Harrop joined, right? These are our seasons in the National League South before Angelo Harrop took over as Braintree town manager, right? So as you can see here, first season back down in the South, 21st, we were saved by COVID. That's a relegation spot right there, but the season ended because of COVID. They scrapped the relegation because of COVID. We were saved because of COVID in our first season back in the South after our venture in the National. Second season in the South, 19th, saved by COVID again. Season finishes early, a lot earlier than the last one, mind you. There was obviously time for Braintree to get better and not potentially be in a relegation position, obviously, but saved by COVID. 2 years in a row we were saved by COVID, fighting relegation. Again, third season, we managed to stay up, right? We managed to stay up there, 17th. Not far off of those relegation spots. Again, that was a relegation fight. We actually had a really good second half of the season there. We managed to pull ourselves up and stay up. But for the most of the part of that season, that was a relegation fight. So 2 seasons where we were in a relegation position pretty much and saved by COVID, and then a season where we just about stayed up. Angelo Harrop comes in, first season, 7th, gets us a playoff spot. We go out in the first round of the playoffs, sure, but we weren't expecting playoffs. We were a team that just stayed in. We'd spent 3 years fighting relegation. Angelo Harrop comes in, first season, 7th. What happens in his second season? Well, the second season was last year, and we won the playoffs. You know, there was a lot of people watching the stream of the final on this channel. I was obviously at the game. We got promoted. 2 seasons at the club. He got us a playoff position and then got us promoted through the playoffs. We had 3 years of potential relegation before Angelo Harrop, and in his first 2 seasons at the club, he got us a playoff spot and promotion to the National League. We had no right to be in the National League, but Angelo Harrop joined and he took us there, and he's been sacked. You'd think that'd be enough credit in the bank, right? He pulled off a miracle getting this club into the National League, and he's been sacked outside of the relegation zone. Now, where do we go from here? I have no clue. I'm not sure if we could get a better manager than Harrop. Who the hell would want this job, to be quite honest? Because the budget is absolutely terrible at this club. We are a poor team, especially for the National League. We're a poor team for the National League South. We're an extra poor team in the National League. This is not an easy job. And Angelo Harrop was doing a stellar job. Now, he wasn't without criticism, of course. The game last night against Maidstone, when we were 2-0 down, we were defending corners with every single man back. Now, if I showed you those corners and you'd think Braintree were a team 1-0 up in like the 85th minute trying to fight to keep the lead, right? But we were 2-0 down. We didn't have a single man forward from the corners for the counter-attack. Now, that's a legitimate criticism I had of Harrop. I wasn't sure why the hell he was doing that, and these are a question I would have loved to have asked him. But, you know, the results were fine. For a team that were favourites to go down, the results were fine. And yet, we've still moved on. This club is a fucking circus, and the clowns are in charge. And I'm just blown away. Blown away at this decision to move on from a manager who got us promoted when we had no right. No right. And what more is there to say? Hopefully we can get a new manager in that is going to do a fantastic job and manage to keep us up. But I am not happy. The fans are not happy. You look through these comments on this and, you know, very harsh. A real victim of his own success. All the replies should tell you the abysmal decision this is. What's this all about? Crazy decision. Like, that tells you all you need to know about this decision. And, you know, the position the club is in, the money we're going to be offering, the small squad we have, I'm not sure who the hell wants this job. And quite frankly, I don't blame any managers. This club is a joke. This decision is a joke. Lee Harding is a joke. And I am just done. I fully expect relegation now, and all I can say is good luck in the future to Angelo Harrop, and you deserved more. You deserved more.